afternoon, everyone. Turn, if you would, to Daniel 3. Daniel 3. We know, of course, of the story of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. In my opinion, it's one of the greatest stories of faith that there is in the Bible. Daniel 3 and verse 16. Now Nebuchadnezzar had set up an idol, a golden idol that was to be bowed to when music was played, and everyone was ordered to bow down to that idol and worship it whenever they heard music. Verse 15, in the second half, "But if you worship not, you should be cast that same hour into the midst of the burning fiery furnace. And who is that God that shall deliver you out of my hands?" Verse 16, "Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego answered and said to the king, O Nebuchadnezzar, we are not careful to answer you in this matter. If it be so, our God, whom we serve, is able to deliver us from the fiery furnace, and he will deliver us out of your hand, O king." Read that first part of that, verse 17. If it be so. Now 18. "But if not, be it known unto you, O king, that we will not serve any of thy gods, nor worship the golden image which you have set up." To me, that is very powerful, because you know what was running through their minds. We're going to die. The fact that they mentioned it, you know that they were thinking about dying. But they saw in whom their salvation lay. They saw the larger picture. What is faith? One definition of faith is a reliance upon Christ for salvation. Another example would be in Mark 2. If you'd return with me to Mark 2 and verse 2. We read about 4 men carrying another man. They had heard in the town that Christ, Jesus, was there, and straightway many were gathered together, insomuch that there was no room to receive them. No, not so much as about the door, and he preached the word unto them. And they came unto him, bringing one sick of the palsy, which was born of 4. And imagine, if you will, a brother of 3 other brothers and a father, and they carried that man through and across town to a house that was overflowing with people. And they set him down, maybe, and they looked and realized, if we don't get him in there, there's no chance he would be healed. And when you're sick of the palsy, you may die, you may live. Mostly you would die in that day. And in verse 4, "And they could not come nigh unto him for the press, and they uncovered the roof where he was, where Christ was. And when they had broken it up, they let down the bed wherein the sick of the palsy lay." They stood outside the house and looked and realized they couldn't get him in, and so they said, with probably tears, we have to. There's got to be some way, because we know that this man heals. And so when they had broken up the roof, they let down the bed in which he lay, and Jesus saw their faith, And he said unto the sick of the palsy, Son, your sins be forgiven you. Hebrews 11 and verse 1. Hebrews 11 and verse 1 states, Now faith, which is reliance upon Christ for salvation, is the substance or the underlayment or foundation of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. Faith, the reliance upon Christ for salvation, is the substance, the foundation itself of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. Who is our foundation? We look forward to the substance and the reality of the kingdom of God, where we, as sons and daughters of God, will be in that kingdom. We will enter that kingdom that we do not see now. Hebrews 11 is an awesome chapter. It goes through all the people who have come before us and have died not seeing what they believed in. They did not get the actual promise, but they believed that they would. Hebrews 11 and 13, a little further down the chapter. All these people spoken of before, Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, they all died in faith, not having received the promise, but having seen them afar off, and were persuaded of them and embraced them, and confessed that they were strangers and pilgrims on the earth as we are. We are expounded to examine ourselves to see whether we have or are in the faith in 2 Corinthians 13, verse 5. It says, Examine yourselves whether you be in the faith. Prove your own selves. Know you not that you of yourselves how Jesus is in you, except you be reprobates. If Christ lives within us, and he is our foundation, and he is the substance, and we are relying on him, then we have faith. Christ expounded that if we have faith as small as a mustard seed in Matthew 17, that we can move mountains. Matthew 17 and verse 20, And Jesus said unto them, Because of your unbelief. For verily I say unto you, if you have faith as a grain of a mustard seed, you shall say unto this mountain, Remove hence to yonder place, and it shall remove, and nothing shall be impossible unto you. They couldn't heal, and they came to him. But look deeper, not just at the physical. How many mountains have you moved in your life? How many trials have you made it through? Those are mountains, those things, the things that you go through in life. You move them with faith. Brethren, no matter what we go through in this life, no matter what might happen to us in the future, we need to realize from the examples in the Bible to the full that our reliance upon Christ for our salvation is our faith, and that he is the foundation of our faith.